was a huge, you know, a huge corporate guy. So I sent him the picture right away. I said, you know this guy? He was just walking around and we took a picture with him. And he couldn't believe, he's like, is that who I think it is? And I'm like, yeah.
Okay guys, it's 6 o'clock. You ready, gentlemen? I'm going to call the Village of Vernon Board meeting to order. Today is Thursday, July 18th at 6 p.m. Would you please join the Village Board in the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. Brad, would you mind doing open meeting law compliance and roll call?
President Shu.
I'm here.
Trustee Pecca.
Here.
Trustee Finch.
Here.
Trustee Newman.
Here.
Trustee Millies.
Here.
This meeting was noticed and posted according to law.
Are there any public comments? Merle, would you, can somebody turn on the microphone?
I'll run up there.
Merle, come on up here, and I know we know you're Merle Wagner on Somerset, but could you just state your address here?
I decided to come here tonight because I'm a little worried about the building of the new fire station and Village Hall. I understand there's something that's going to be coming out through the mails from you people here. The thing that this is a large building that he wants to build, or not he. Let's face it, it's one person who would love to have that. Don't know what he's going to fill it with. He's going to fill it with more equipment. I spent 20 years of my life in fire services as a volunteer, and I came from New Berlin. Okay, I ran one of their stations, and we had 5 stations. When I started, we had 1. Okay. The reason for that is that you never put all your eggs in one carton. The only place that works is when you buy them in the store. Other than that, putting all your eggs in one carton doesn't give everybody in the town or village, whichever you want to call it, the same amount of equity as far as care. Either for fire. Because fire goes rapidly. The further you are away, the worse your fire is going to be. It's the same thing with any health issue that you have. I'm amazed they're doing that. I personally would rather build one massive fire station, adding to that station in certain areas where you need for showers and females so they can stay over, not sleeping with the males. I understand those things. But again, putting all your eggs in that one basket, it's inequitable to everybody, to other people in this town, with the exception of people that are close by. I understand mutual aid procedures and all that. I went through that. Okay. So, I think it should be rethought, and you should have more thought, not just one thing to present to people. You need 2 or 3 things to present to people, because right now you're talking about $2 dollars. It's crazy, and you might be thinking 50 years. In 50 years from now, you don't know what the heck's going to happen. I don't. I won't be here. But gosh, give everybody in this village a chance. The same chance that somebody living close by does. But you can't do that now because there's no outlying station. There's not a station over on National Avenue, which I live close to, but there's nobody there. Why don't we look at doing things like that rather than putting all our eggs in that one basket? All the eggs in one basket, in one carton, sometimes spoil, and that's the way I look at this thing. Think about it before you go ahead with this. It's totally bizarre. what you need here with the village hall, I understand some of it, and to just gut this and knock it down and say, well, the fire station's not that old. I've been in that fire station. I used to run the fire commission for this village, for the town, and I don't understand it. I don't understand the thinking. It's not forward thinking, it's backwards thinking. That's my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you, Merle. Any other public comments? Any other public comments? Is there any questions from the deputy that's here with the Waukesha County Sheriff's Department? I just want to let you know, Deputy, you're more than welcome to stay for the whole meeting, but I just wanted to check with the board if they had any questions in regards to your report, so just wanted to let you know. Next agenda item is the release of letter of credit for Diamond Communications. The village engineer, the building inspector, the DPW director all have stated that this is ready to be released, the letter of credit for the cell tower that's on Artesian Avenue. So we would be looking for a motion to release the letter of credit for Diamond Communications. We can make that motion. I'll make the motion, and Trustee Finch seconded it. And discussion. Any questions, board members, or discussion in regards to releasing that letter of credit? All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Keith, and you'll contact Brad. He'll get a letter to the bank, and he'll work with you to get that released.
I'll call you tomorrow, Brad.
Can you wait? I'm in training like all day tomorrow.
What's
Just call me on Monday after like 10:30.
Okay, I'll have him call you.
Okay.
Perfect.
Thanks, Keith. Take care.
Thank you.
Next agenda item is the road and driveway concerns of the Christian property located at South 85 West 27350 Hartwig Avenue. I just wanted to read, our village attorney said this is a legal issue, whether the road was built to the road standards and whether the drainage pattern has changed the road project. To the best of my knowledge, there's been no review of the village ordinances to determine if approval of this request would violate the same, or whether the second driveway is legal. Additionally, as you know, approval of this request would set precedent that the village would need to recognize in the future. And lastly, if there is a threatened litigation, the matter should be referred to our insurance company. No action should be taken by the village board. You should act upon the direction of the insurance company or the appointed insurance company for legal counsel. Just so you know, I know Brad and Brett worked with our village engineer to get him out there to make sure that the road was built to the town standards and exactly as bid out, and that was done. And then you have the advice from council that really the board shouldn't take any action, and if they did indicate that they, would sue, so that's what the attorney said, we should not take action. So I'd make a motion that we do not take action in regards to the concerns of the Christians for the Christian property's second driveway located at South 85 West 27350 Hartwig Avenue. Is there a second to my motion? Second by Trustee Pecca. Discussion from the board. Discussion, hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next agenda item is, what I'd like to do is authorize our administrator clerk and the trustee to be able to log in. The trustee that would be logging into the accounts would just be viewing, but our administrator clerk should have the same rights as I did when I was the administrator. There's a lot of things that an administrator would go into those accounts, and I'd like to get that set up if the board agrees. What would happen if the board agrees that we should start this? They would send the paperwork, and in that paperwork you'd see what the administrator would be allowed to do, and then I would also look for a trustee that would like to view the accounts also. Like I said, you couldn't do anything in there, but it'd be nice to have another set of eyes. Our previous auditor recommended not only logging into the accounts, but also, and I know Dylan, you've asked the password into the software also. Has that happened yet?
No.
Brad, you gotta do that for Dylan if you don't mind. Is there a trustee that would like to volunteer to be able to log into the account?
I'm fine with that, and it's only view only access, right?
Yes, yeah. You'd be able to look at all the accounts, but you couldn't do anything. Brad would be different, you know.
I don't want the liability of having access, so.
So
I'll
with,
take view only.
with that, I would make a motion that we get the paperwork from Citizens Bank authorizing the administrator clerk to do specific items related to the accounts and also appoint Dylan Newman as the trustee to view the accounts. Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second it.
Second by trustee Millie's discussion. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Scott Preventure, invoices for legal and planning services. Board members, I know that you received this document that indicated all the duplicate charges of $2,555.59. Also, the $210 charge and the $70.50 charge were billed in error. They could not find it, that information. So we know so far that those duplicate charges and the $210 and $70.50 are charges that should not be charged to Scott Provencher. And my question too, on December 8th, was that billed to Scott? $1,283.60.
Right, can you just send Gary and I a copy of the packet? 'Cause we can't get documents on the demand.
Yeah, no, I was down there this afternoon.
Can you do it? There you go.
I had.
Oh, before you came.
I was stupid.
And it's not working?
It just says results building, please reload.
Yeah, so
When you reload, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, it just said, please reload again.
No, it doesn't have, I just sent it. Do you need the APs too?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Sorry, guys.
Is that it?
I sent mine. Did you send yours, Brad?
Yeah.
You're gonna send them APs in?
Yeah, you send me a piece.
Did you guys get it?
Yep.
I mean, all the detail on the other invoices were not in this packet, but this one pager was. And, you could see and again, Marianne, we do not have invoices. There's no invoices associated with these charges. I guess the software company's working on it, but I don't know how long this has been in place, but they don't invoice by number. So, and I did not get a chance. Did anybody look at that bill for $1,283.60? Did you get a chance to review it, Brad?
It's been a while. I'm just trying to find my memo that was originally there because it laid out.
Was that part of what was billed in there? It was a duplicate, right?
No, this was a bill that was,
This was recent.
It was
This
in-
wouldn't have been
it was
on the
incurred
last
in
meeting.
in December of last year, and it wasn't billed. It said it hasn't been
Yeah, it
billed
says
yet.
bill date 6/25/24. So that would have been.
Oh, but it didn't get billed.
Yeah,
What's it for again?
it
Doesn't say.
It's for bond agreement, research and review and phone calls, and the access agreement, research and review and phone calls.
It doesn't clear anything up for me right now. Thank you.
Well, I know for a fact, I mean, this is just my opinion, for now, I mean, it's obvious we should void the one bill for $2,555.59. All four of those charges were duplicate,
Right.
so that should be voided.
These are
Also-
separate from the last time we voided.
We haven't voided anything.
We didn't void them last time.
No, because we didn't have all the information.
Gotcha.
And then the 210 we had on the bill, but we had no information, and subsequently, when they did their research, they found out that that bill did not belong to the Provencers. But You know, so, I mean, it would be very easy, in my opinion, to void out the 2,055.59 and the 280.50 for a total of $2,736.09.
Is that a motion?
That's my
I'll
motion.
second
That was a motion to, made and seconded to void, I wish I had, the bill was dated 1/15/2024 for $2,555. And the one that was billed in air was from 3/26 for $210 and 70.50. Discussion from the board. Discussion?
No, I'm in favor of that, but I think we should also give them a break on that letter.
The last bill? I just found that email on my, for the $1,283.06, is that what you're saying? You know what, let's.
I don't know how that breaks out, yeah.
You know what we should do is.
So, I'd like to visit a way that we can, I don't know if we need to talk to Macy about it, but a way to divide documents like that get created because something we decided. But I also want to be careful because if we have to create a document that costs us 30 grand and it's for a big developer, I
Right.
don't think the residents should be on the hook for something like that.
Well, and like I said, I think, that's why I made my motion for the easy one. If there's board members that want to make a subsequent motion to the $1,283.60, we could talk about that bill too, because the only way we can talk about it is publicly. So do we need any more discussion on the bills that are blatantly need to be avoided? All in favor of that motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Now, Jeff, you want to talk about the bill for $1,283.60.
Is that,
This is all related to the bond. You
yeah, I guess, how's that break out? Yeah.
know what, I'm gonna email that to you guys so that you can see it. Because I did, unless you have it, Brad.
I have to dig.
Okay, forward. It's coming right now. I got it, Brad. And I know both Scott and Marianne, when we talked previously, they talked about the fact that they got the bond based upon what they were told, and then they wanted, a letter of credit was needed, and oops, sorry. Did everybody see that bill?
You said it, right?
I didn't say that.
Is there anything out here?
Brad, do you have any idea why it says Research Village Administrator, Provincial Bond, Planner Report? See,
What
was
was
this
it? What was the date on
Did you say you got it?
December 14th? You guys didn't get it?
I got it.
it? I mean, that's when we would have been having the conversation about bonding, whether bond or letter of credit and that stuff.
That wasn't the drafting of the conditional use?
No, because the conditional use probably would have been drafted by then.
The
Every-
conditional use permit.
It would have been related to it. I think by then everything had been drafted. I'd have to go back into my emails and see, because by then I think or
So the accent agreement, 370, access agreement. So I just got to clarify something for me. John wanted a letter of credit, but you had told it Provencher's bond, right, Brad?
initially.
So there's bond. Oh, let's see agreement, bond. There's a lot of bonds in here.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't he tell you right off the bat? If you've got all of these charges for a bond,
I mean,
He doesn't want a bond.
and he doesn't.
yeah, I mean, some of them might not have always been I mean, what's the date range on them? I'd have to, I mean,
The 8th of December, 2 charges for the 8th of December just for the bond, 3 charges for the 8th of December just for the bond. And then the 19th becomes, oh no, yep, then there's the 14th with the bond, the 19th with the bond.
and by the 19th, by that point, I probably changed the letter of credit, the conversation, because I think there was about a week period.
There are 3 charges on the 19th for a bond. 3 charges on the same day for a bond.
I know there was potentially a voicemail and a phone call.
How much did you say you were billed in total for the access agreement?
Oh gosh, I don't know.
Maybe you don't know offhand, it's not.
In my memo that I put together originally, I said, in my review of it, and this was done almost 2 months ago now,
And was
I said, my review, there was $1,063 in professional fees were for the access agreement and bond / letter of credit review. Of this broken down, I said $635.20 was for the access agreement, $427.80 was for the bond / letter of credit.
But if it's in this, it's talking about letter of credit. Have access to.
The letter of credit is that, the letter of credit is the $189 on the January, on the 4/11 invoice for $189.80, that is the letter of credit invoicing. No, because this was in December. That was before the letter of
And
credit
that's all
was,
bond.
it's
and
all bond and access agreement.
Access agreement, no
That's
letter
it.
of credit.
No.
Board members, would you mind if we did just a little bit more research on additional charges? Because breaking it down, I know Brad said he's got 1,063. And was this reflective of the fact that there wasn't another bill?
This was reflective of everything billed plus the unbilled. So there was originally when there was a bill on 10/10 of 23 for $374.90. Another bill on 10/25 for $1305. Another one on 1/15 for $25.54.59.
Well, that's the one that's being voided.
Yep. And then there was another one
This
on.
isn't helping me at all.
No.
So the total I came up with was with what was billed and taking the duplicate out and adding in the unbilled was $59.88.49.
But
Was-
you only took out one set of duplicates, and there's 2 sets of duplicates. That was part of the problem in your letter, was you didn't realize that there was 2 sets of duplicates, not just one.
So there's more duplicates than the invoices that we just.
That 2555 is all duplication.
Right,
Okay,
'cause
we
you-
just voided that. So we're good.
Right.
And then, the 210 and the 7.
That's not even our bill.
yeah, yeah.
Nothing to do with it.
So currently, the total for all of the invoices that we are due, or that are due, is $3,119.29.
3,000, what was it, Marianne? 3,000,
$3,119.29.
okay.
That does not include the 1283, because we are disputing those charges.
Okay, so would you guys mind, what I'd like to do is go back, would like to see what legal and planning charges, I don't know, unless the board, if the board's ready to make, what I'd like to do is look at, bills, what were the review for coming to plan commission, after plan commission, Sean drafting the CU, I mean, I'd like to see those bills laid out, and then this 1283, because I know they sent it the other day, but I just looked at it today. So for now, Scott and Miriam, what we'll do is we'll void these out for now, and just give us one more meeting to break that down, and then we'll put it on the next board agenda. Is that agreeable?
Yeah, like we said last time, just please, please don't bring us here until you have a resolution.
Right.
You know, I mean,
I
we
did
keep
not
coming
get,
every month.
I didn't get this bill that was incurred in December, that wasn't billed till June. I just got that. So I mean, to be fair to you, but you are disputing that entire bill, that 12.
That bill is for the bond and the access agreement. The bond is not what is being used, so why are we paying for a bond and a letter of credit? We shouldn't be doing that. So we're disputing the bond, and we're also disputing the access agreement because we know that that's a template.
Okay, so is that the only bill that you're disputing? Okay, so that's all we have left is the 1283. You're not disputing the drafting of the conditional use, the site plan of operation?
You know what?
At this point in time, it's, we realize that we have to move forward, and it is my understanding, and maybe you can correct me, that all conditional use permits in the village are going to be reapplied for going forward?
Only if they want to make a change.
Okay.
Yeah, so my recommendation, if it's got to see, is I wouldn't change them if you're going to get these kind of charges.
And I think that was, the initial was that a change was deemed by the planner in my property usage when we're exchanging one house for another. And I guess I'd like to get the board's input on.
Well, we can't do that, we're just, on the
Okay.
agenda, it just says
Yep.
your invoice.
I understand.
So,
But the bond was just for the construction alone, right?
For the
The
removal.
bond was for the
The house.
demolition of the old house.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And the bond was replaced by the letter of credit.
right. So I mean, I think we have enough information to act on the bond. I would like to hear what we can do without tying our hands about the access agreement. But for the bond, I'd make a motion. I think that's kind of on us. I think it's on us to figure out what to do.
So Brad, did you say the access was 1,063? And the bond was?
The total for the access agreement and the bond/letter of credit was 1,063 even.
That doesn't help. I'd like to know what the bond, out of 1,063, the letter of credit, that applies to them, but, I'd like to know what the bond,
So of that,
the thousand-
427.80 was for the bond/letter of credit, what I found.
42380 was for what?
427.80 was for the bond and letter of credit.
And letter of credit?
That's how I have it termed on here.
Oh, okay.
I'd have to go back and look at the bills. I don't recall off the top of my head how everything was broken down specifically without looking at them. I'm referring to my memo from May 13th.
Can I ask you a question, Brett? On October 11th, when I came in and it was deemed after we had the meeting and the bond was what was brought forth. If the correct information of the letter of credit were to be spoken at the October 11th meeting, and I were to have gotten you that next week, would any of these charges been instilled, or would you have just put it in the file and said, Mr. Provencher's provided us with a letter of credit, that's what we asked for, and we're gonna move on in giving him his building permit for that part of it, because I would have gone to Sean, who then, because nothing in the access agreement was spoken at the October 11th meeting, which was the information for the bond. If the correct information for the letter of credit would have been given, and I would have come to you, either with the check, which I gave you, which I haven't got back yet, which is not a big deal.
You want it, I got it.
Or given or the week later, given you the letter from the bank with the letter of credit, that would have gone in the file and it would have been a moot point from that point forward?
You would have probably incurred a little bit because the letter of credit would have been reviewed by Attorney Macy.
Not a problem.
But
He's
not,
gonna look at something
but
that's
probably
correct.
not to the degree that you have right there.
What's that?
Probably not to the degree that you have there.
Okay, so a review by an attorney, even if it was a half hour's worth of him reading a document, which he's seen probably 3,000 or 4,000 times before. I'm just saying that if the correct information was given on October 11th, I would have brought a letter of credit, the attorney would have reviewed it, even at a $350 an hour, a half hour is $175. He'd have the letter of credit. We agreed that the letter of access is a template that will be used in the future, which is a first time for us, which is going to be owned by the village. Moving forward, in the bills that we have here, anything with bond, letter of credit, or letter of access agreement, I would like you to review, because Brad just told us if the correct information would have been given on October 11th, it only would have been the review of the document, legal document from a bank, which he's seen many times
He
before.
wrote it. He wrote the letter of credit.
Remember,
I'm just saying that the bank provided the letter of credit, the review would have been by it, it would have been put in my file. We wouldn't be talking about bond, letter of access, I mean, we would, but we would be disputing because it's a template for you. Anything with bond or letter of credit in this charge, other than a review of the letter of credit, is what I would like you guys to look at.
But you just said October, we have to go back to October for this bond issue, because this bill, this $1,283, it only has $155 worth of charges. And if you take the $427.80 that he talked about was related to the letter of credit and the bond, if you minus the $189.80 from the $427.80, you come up to $283 for the bond. So what I would like to do is, if you mention this bond thing goes back to October, all
Yeah,
these
we're
charges
gonna
are December.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I understand you don't want to keep coming, but I would want to make a decision based upon one, we don't have an invoice number. This is all, but there's got to be other charges in October. There's probably charges in November, and here December. I mean, we've seen the legal bills, they go on and on and on.
And this was the process in the building permit process. I did not, when I came to get the zoning permit, okay, I was in discussions with Brad about the bond, which we were going around with at that time, because I said I would get him in touch with my insurance agent. When I applied for the zoning permit is when I found out about the letter of access, which was never discussed in the October 11th meeting. So I had no idea that there was any letter of access
Right, and-
until like the first week of November, when I went in. And then that sparked all of the new discussion saying, we don't even have a document like that, it has to be written by the attorney.
But I can also tell you, Scott, when we review things that are going to the plan commission 2 weeks before the meeting and, the week before, that never came up in that discussion. But in the conditions that the planner drafts is based upon legal review, so that's where that came up. But my question to the attorney, if the bond wasn't acceptable and it goes back to October, my question, I would like to ask our attorney, if it wasn't acceptable, why were you reviewing, you said in October, it's on your bill, October, November, and December? So that's why I'm just asking. I mean, I can tell you what I just would like detail, the actual document, for the access agreement and the bond. Does the board agree with it? Wouldn't you like to see the actual
I think we
bills?
need to go back to October. because I don't
October
wanna-
bills are for the variance and the conditional use.
Okay,
That's what the October bills are for.
okay, but like I said,
And that's okay. I mean, we had to get permission for building the house behind our accessory
Yep,
buildings,
yep.
and that's
Yep.
fine,
okay,
no problem.
sound good, guys?
Yep.
Sorry.
If you want me to, I can draft up a summary of, this is all of the bills that relate to the bonds, this is all of the bills that relate to the access agreement, this is all the bills that relate to all the different facets that we've been going through and summarize it all together if you'd
Well,
like.
what I'd like, if you don't mind, Mary Ann and Scott, if you could make a detail of what you're contesting after, you know, we voided these out. So if you could detail that for us, that would be great. In the meantime, we'll put
Yep.
something together and
That sounds
just one, I just want to be fair
Yep.
to you and the board to look at the documentation,
Well,
Could you
we just
email
wanna,
that to all of us too?
or get it to Brad and Brad will.
we just really want all the information. Do you guys want
Yeah.
all the
Yeah, I do.
information? And then when we're discussing it, we're all on the same page when we say, okay, I understand that, what you're talking
Absolutely.
about. Because Brad's numbers aren't really jiving with Mary Ann's, but they probably are. It's just in different sequence or different order
Yeah.
Right.
from that. So
Yep.
when you get Mary Ann's, you'll probably understand, because you'll get it, Brad, and, share it with everyone.
Sound good?
Okay?
Sorry, guys, one more time, we'll get this done.
Slowly getting there.
Yep.
Yeah, Nick.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys, keep dancing.
Always.
Let's see, next agenda item, RFPs for assessment services. Board members, I hope you didn't mind, I sent this to John Macy, only because of the change in the state law, I just wanted that RFP checked by John.
Sure.
We had it checked 3 years ago, but, it's already at, the attorney for his review. But what we'd be doing is looking for a motion to approve the RFP for assessment services contingent on legal review and authorize the staff to submit to the assessing firms.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second to the motion? Second by, motion was made by trustee Finch and seconded by trustee Pecca. And these are real easy, like Brad said before, you can go on the DOR's website and all the assessors that are in Waukesha County. What we did last time is we just emailed it directly to them and then they sent it back. And I did tell our assessment firm that we were going out for RFP, so they weren't shocked.
Is this the last year we're under contract with them?
Yeah, this is it. That's why we got it. If you see the dates, and on your copy, I did highlight all the changes for you and for John. Because I wanted John to know, that would be easier for him to focus on what the highlighted changes are. But he's gonna know any issues that relate to legal issues.
Yeah, so it's that as well.
Yep, yeah, I mean, those dates I want, if the board doesn't mind, I want those dates to, be consistent so we stay on track. I mean, just so you know, when we did this in 2020, 21 or whatever, we were a little bit behind, so we're above the time frame. But, I just wanted to get it to the attorney so he's reviewing it and the board approves the RFP, contingent on legal review. Is there a motion to that effect?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, trustee Millies made the motion. Is there a second to trustee Millies' motion?
Wait,
Okay.
wait, don't we already, or was there a second motion?
No, I didn't make a motion.
Yeah, didn't we? Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Who
Wait,
seconded?
wait.
We were discussion, you remade the motion.
Yeah, because
Okay,
trustee
so-
Finch and trustee Pecca seconded.
Okay, so Finch and Peck, further discussion.
I looked away for a minute and you guys were, I'm like,
All those in favor of the
Where
motion,
we
signify
go?
by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So as soon as it gets,
I was wondering where we were.
Brad will let you know if there are any changes, but, like I said, I'd like those sent to all those, there's probably 5 or 6 that we can send them to. But just so you know how they go out. We'll put it on the website too, so if there's any assessors that are just randomly looking at our website. Does that make sense? Okay. Let's see. Oh, this kind of plays into the proventure. Authorized village attorney and planner to research accessory dwelling unit language and zoning. At our last plan commission meeting, we were discussing the language related to mother-in-law units that, not necessarily that the Connors proposed, because what they gave to the planner is totally different from what we were talking about. And the reason I'm bringing this to the village board is this is going to come into play. The plan commission talked about what the plan commission wanted to see as far as accessory, detached, not accessory buildings, mother-in-law units, or guest house, or we can't call them mother-in-laws. The question now is, I wanted to let the Connors know the plan commission was looking for more information from a legal standpoint and from the planner. Now, and what I don't want to happen is same thing that happened somewhat to the Provencers.
Yeah.
do you think the village should pick up the planning and zoning legal issues related to what the plan commission was asking them to do? Because it's not, what the Connors proposed in their language was not what the plan commission talked about, which is fine, because the plan commission did have legal questions and planning questions to both, but I wanted to make sure that the board, who's picking up the dime on that? I didn't think it was fair to charge the Connors, because when we talked, we had a lot of questions that ranged, from a planning and legal aspect. And in my personal opinion, that's something that we would incur as a municipality, not to the Connors. I mean, but I didn't want, I wanted to see how the board felt about that. When we talked, we had a lot of issues, and Sean's got them all written down, but I told him not to contact the attorney. Don't do anything till I talk to the board to see. I mean, that's not a plan commission issue. I mean, the issues related to the concern in the zoning is plan commission, but the issues related to some of the legal questions that went, in a variety of aspects, that Sean's gonna bring back at the next plan commission meeting. Do you feel that we should pick up the research on the items that the plan commission and board wanted the attorney and the planner to look into?
Yeah, I agree, the village pick up that charge.
Okay,
I think
okay,
so too.
okay, because,
We're looking to change our ordinance.
right,
Yeah, so-
and we had some legal issues, and this doesn't, all that, where we went on plan commission meeting was way beyond what Connors were asking.
Yeah.
Which, if it all falls into play in the end, so be it, but I mean, the planning and legal issues we had, I think we should bear as a municipality. So with that, I would make a motion that we authorize the village attorney and village planner to research the accessory dwelling unit language that would be in a proposed zoning code. I want the public to know, we haven't made any decisions. Second by trustee Newman. We haven't made any decisions, but before we do that, we'd like to have some of the legal issues that the attorney, the plan commission, the board brought up, legal and planning issues. Does that make sense, guys?
Yep.
Okay. And then Connors, do you know when our next plan commission meeting is?
August.
Second week of August.
August 14th.
So, like I said, we'll be talking about that too, but I don't know if, well, I know, Erica, I know you got a chance to watch it because you saw how we went way, which is fine. I mean, that's a good thing that the plan commission and board are talking about, their feelings. So, but we'd like you to be there and be part of that discussion also.
Sure, we'd love to.
Further discussion from the board? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Let's see, Center Bridge, I just want to let you guys know everything is flying fast. Good night, Connors, have a
Thank you
nice,
so much.
nice evening. We got approval from the DOT, we got approval from the DNR, we've, the assessor, the appraisers and negotiators are out working, so things are happening fast as it relates to behind the scenes. I haven't seen the specs yet, Brad, have you?
I haven't seen it. I might have missed it this week with train, but I haven't
No,
seen
no,
it.
it didn't, I looked at,
Oh, I haven't.
yeah.
No, I haven't
Okay.
seen anything.
So, I mean, nothing new, but I just wanted the board to be on standby just in case we need the emergency Center Bridge.
Okay.
But we're on track, things are flying fast. Brad, on the agenda, you have approval of a Class B liquor license for the German Shepherd Dog Club of Wisconsin for September 6th through September 8th, 2024. This club has done this for the last 25, 30 years, this event. It's their fundraising.
I'll take your word. I'll take your word. I know they've done it for a while. I'll take your word on it.
I know you're
another
only
time.
14, Brad, but...
You weren't too far ahead of me, but
So I would make a motion to approve the temporary Class B liquor license for the German Shepherd Dog Club of Wisconsin for the dates September 6th through September 8th, 2024. Is there a second to my motion?
Second.
Second by trustee Newman. Discussion. Discussion, hearing none. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Brad, I know you have everything in the packet for Marissa Pease. She's applying for her operator's license for the 2020-2024 season. Brad, everything's in order?
yes.
I would make a motion to concur with the administrator clerk to approve the bartender operator's license for Marissa Pease for the years 2024 to 2026. Is there a second to my motion? Second by trustee Pecca. Discussion from the board. Discussion, hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Announcements, I just wanted to let you know that, President Fred Winchowski and I did meet with Paul Farrell about, the issues related to Edgewood and National Avenue. And I know this is gonna shock you, but the county exec has the same funding problems as it relates to roads, as we do in Vernon. There's just a lot of roads and not enough money. In fact, their Moreland Avenue project went $4 million over budget. $4 million. And, there was an appropriation at the state that they got to do that. So he's aware of it. The county exec's gonna talk to his staff and see what he can get back to Vernon. Like I said, I told the county exec, he will start doing studies. I asked him to wait till September when school starts, because that's when it gets really crazy in that intersection. So I'll keep you posted on what the county exec says. And Citizens Bank also is doing another 60 days for free reviewing of our checks. I just want to let you know I did send them all of our approved checks from April to tonight, so they have a list of what the board has approved as far as checks go. And with that, I would turn to trustee number 1. Do you have any announcements, Jay?
Well, I hope everybody's having a safe summer. Just be careful when using power equipment outside. I got the lecture from my mom. She found out that I was taking an extend-a-rod tree trimmer and trimming branches off trees, doing it alone. She prefers if someone's there with me, so just be careful doing that, okay?
Great. Trustee Finch.
Pretty soon, the newsletter will be going out with all the information. The information will be going out on the new fire department and the new DPW department stuff. And we have meetings set up for people to come in and look at all this stuff. And we really need the feedback. We really want people to be educated and take the time to really look at it, and then we'll make a decision on stuff. Thank you.
Thank you. That was a ditto from Trustee Newman. Trustee Millies.
Waukesha County Fair is going on now through the weekend, and also State Fair starts August 1st. Hard to believe we're this far in the summer already, but get out and enjoy it while the weather's still nice.
Concert time.
Thanks, Trustee Millies. Let's see. Administrator Clerk, any announcements?
Just follow up on the others. The newsletter should be going out, hitting the mail today, potentially. The check was dropped off yesterday, so it should be out. Village Hall will be closed next week, Friday, from about 10 a.m. to about 3 p.m. Myself and the 2 deputies that work on Friday are going to training, and that's it. Early in-person absentee voting starts on July 30th. So.
Thank you, Brad. Board members, the Sheriff's Department report, the June 2020-24 Sheriff and Fire Department report was in your packet. With that, I would turn to accounts payable for July 18, 2020-24. Is there a change in the amount, Brad? Based upon...
yeah, it went from...
okay, could you announce the changes?
Yeah, I believe the one change was on the Payne and Dolan bill. The amount was for 1075 or 1057.67, and the correct amount should be for 1075.67. So it'd be an additional $22 or $18, excuse me.
So what's our total then? 104?
What about the Amazon bill? Did you straighten that out?
I know Sue was looking at it. I know she was looking for more. You had a question that there was...
The one charge in the description, I think it was $4.99 for the, and on our sheet it says $6.99 for that item. So I don't know if it affected the total amount of the bill that was presented or just... does the breakdown of the bill, so
I'd have to go back and look at it again and see what...
And then also, was there a Spectrum check for $569? I saw the receipt, but I didn't see the checklist.
Might have been a manual check.
Well, there was a manual check like for $75 or something for Spectrum.
That's right on.
Yeah, then above it is the 569.
Oh, it's okay.
Says Charter Communications.
That's probably why I didn't see it. Okay, yeah, that was all I had done.
I didn't even get a chance to look at this, so I'm gonna abstain. So Brad, you said you're gonna look at the,
I'll look at the,
Amazon bill?
yeah.
Jeff, did you find anything else?
No, that was it.
Oh, here, I'll send it. It was actually sitting here, Dylan.
So Brad,
It was
did
on
you,
this page here, we had $6.99, but in the bill it showed, on the receipt showed $4.99. But I don't know if that affected our total amount or not, that was just,
I'd have to go back and look through the stuff.
and I can tell you too, when Terry does it, between Brad and Terry, if there's a problem, they'll bring it to our attention.
If it's different from if it is $4.99.
It would be a $2 difference in the accounting somewhere if it was.
So do you come up with $104,601.76 for APs, Brad, with the additional $18 for painted Dolan? $104,601.76, is that what you said? That was
Yeah.
my motion to,
Yes.
I'm not gonna.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second.
Second by trustee Finch. Discussion from the board. Discussion, hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I'll abstain, Brad, because I didn't get a chance to research. Manual checks, we have the $999 check from the U.S.
And
Postal.
11 cents, yes.
Also, $999.11, a manual check for postage for the
I'll
newsletter.
send you guys copies tomorrow.
I'll
there-
make that motion.
And I'll second the motion, because both Jeff and I signed the manual check. Once again, discussion from the board, that was a manual check for, right. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. May and June, I did not get a chance to look at this. Did
No.
you guys?
They'll be on the next meeting.
Okay.
Should be on the
Aging
next
report, I do have some questions, can we delay that one too? June financial statement. Brad, we'll just, the rest of the stuff we'll just put on the next agenda. Is that okay, guys?
All right.
And then Brad, we don't have any minutes, right, sir?
Nope.
Okay. With that, just wanted to do a little commercial. Our next board meeting is June 18th at 6 o'clock. We will convene a board of review on June 30th, although, July 30th, but we will we'll adjourn to September, what's that, 11th?
12.
It is 12, okay, at 5 p.m. Open book will be on July 31st, and that'll be by appointments only, and you have to call the number that's on the agenda, 920-749-8098. The public informational meetings for the facility studies, the Vernon Village Hall Complex, will be on Monday, August 5th, from 6:30 to 8 p.m. And the new fire department meetings will be on Tuesday, August 6th, and Wednesday, August 7th, from 6:30 to 8 p.m. And it's my understanding all board members will be at those meetings at the fire department also, right, board members?
That's the plan.
Okay, with that, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn. Is there a motion to that effect?
I'll make that.
Trustee Finch, is there a second to trustee Finch's motion by trustee Newman? Discussion, all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, gentlemen. We are adjourned. What's that?